Just by adding a few simple fruits or vegetables to your daily meals, you can start to rebuild strength and feel more steady on your feet again. It doesn't take a special diet or expensive powders, just real food with real benefits. But before we talk about what helps, we need to be honest about what's happening. If getting out of a chair feels harder lately, if your legs shake walking up the stairs, if you feel like you've lost power in your arms or can't carry groceries like you used to, that's not just getting older. That's muscle loss, and it has a name: sarcopenia. After age 60, your body naturally begins to lose muscle, sometimes up to 8% per decade. And when that happens, everything becomes harder. Lifting, walking, balancing, even standing up from the toilet. And it doesn't stop there. Weaker muscles increase your risk of falling, of ending up in the hospital, of becoming dependent on others for basic daily tasks. That's the real fear. Most people don't talk about not being able to live on your own anymore. But here's the good news: it doesn't have to be that way. Today, I'll show you 4 simple fruits and vegetables that research shows can help protect your muscles, reduce inflammation, and support strength after 60. They're affordable, easy to find, and may already be in your kitchen. And no, you won't need to blend kale or eat anything bitter. Just a few small changes to your plate could mean fewer cramps, steadier steps, and more energy doing the things you enjoy. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you're taking this step for your health. Be sure to hit subscribe so you won't miss more natural ways to stay strong and independent. Let's start with one of the easiest, most enjoyable ways to support your muscles: red grapes. You may already snack on them, but you probably didn't know they contain a powerful plant compound called resveratrol, and it does a lot more than just protect your heart. Resveratrol works by fighting oxidative stress, a slow kind of cellular damage that builds up as we age. Over time, this stress can directly harm muscle cells, making them weaker and slower to recover. That's one of the hidden reasons why soreness lasts longer and why simple tasks like gardening or walking around the block feel harder than they used to. But there's more. Resveratrol also improves blood flow, which is critical for muscle strength and recovery. Think of it this way: your muscles are like engines, and blood is the fuel delivery system. Without good circulation, your muscles can't get the oxygen and nutrients they need to heal and stay active. And poor circulation is incredibly common in older adults. It's one of the reasons for cold feet, nighttime cramps, and fatigue after light activity. Red grapes also contain flavonoids, another group of plant-based antioxidants that calm chronic inflammation. According to a study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, daily intake of flavonoid-rich foods like red grapes was linked to a 20% reduction in age-related muscle loss. That's not a small number. Imagine reducing your risk of weakness and mobility issues by simply enjoying a cup of grapes each day. In fact, a clinical review from the National Institutes of Health highlighted that resveratrol may support mitochondrial function in aging adults. Mitochondria are the tiny power plants inside every muscle cell, and keeping them healthy means more strength, better energy, and less muscle fatigue overall. One of my patients, Mr. Harris, 72, comes to mind. He had stopped going on his evening walks because he felt winded halfway through. But after a few weeks of small, intentional changes, like adding a bowl of red grapes to his lunch and staying hydrated, he noticed something different. He wasn't just finishing his walk, he was picking up the pace. If you want to get the most out of red grapes, go for ones with thicker skins as they contain more resveratrol. And if you can eat the seeds, they're a little crunchy, but they're full of nutrition. Don't like the texture? Toss them into a smoothie or freeze them for a cool, fiber-rich snack on hot days. It's a small step, but over time, it feeds your muscles in all the right ways: naturally, gently, and effectively. And that's the key. Little by little, strength returns. Now, let's turn to something a little unexpected: padrone peppers. These small green peppers are often served as a Spanish appetizer, but behind their mild flavor lies a powerhouse of nutrients that aging muscles quietly love. What makes padron peppers so special? For starters, they're incredibly rich in vitamin C. Just 100 grams deliver about 120 milligrams of it. That's over 130% of the recommended daily intake for adults over 50, most. People think of vitamin C as something for colds, but in reality, it's a key player in collagen production. Collagen acts like a glue for your body. It supports muscles, joints, tendons, and ligaments. Basically, everything that helps you move, lift, and stay upright. And as we age, our ability to make collagen declines. That's part of why your joints feel stiffer, your knees creak more, and your muscles recover more slowly. By getting more vitamin C through whole foods like padrone peppers, you're giving your body what it needs to keep rebuilding itself. But that's not all. Padrone peppers contain a compound called capsaicin. It's the same ingredient that makes hot peppers spicy. Don't worry, these peppers are mild, so they won't burn your mouth. But the capsaicin still works behind the scenes to improve blood flow by relaxing blood vessels and encouraging better circulation. For seniors, this means more oxygen reaching your muscles and brain, helping you feel more energized and less worn out from everyday activities. Better circulation also helps your muscles recover faster after light exercise or household chores like sweeping, walking, or carrying laundry. And that's something you'll actually feel in your day-to-day life. Here's something you can try. Sauté 5 or 6 padron peppers in a little extra virgin olive oil, another ingredient that fights inflammation, until they're soft and lightly blistered. It only takes a few minutes. For an added boost, sprinkle in some turmeric while they cook. Turmeric contains curcumin, a natural anti-inflammatory that works beautifully alongside capsaicin to reduce joint pain and muscle soreness. One of my patients, Linda, age 69, started doing exactly that. Just a small plate of sautéed padron peppers a few times a week. She'd pair it with grilled chicken or lentils, and within a month, she told me she was waking up with fewer aches in her knees and more energy to move through the day. What I love about padrone peppers is how easy they are to add into a routine. They don't require a fancy recipe. They cook fast and they're not bitter or spicy, just warm, a little sweet, and satisfying. Sometimes support for your muscles doesn't need to come in a bottle or a box. It can come from a handful of peppers, cooked simply and eaten with intention. Most people have never heard of arbutus berries. They're also called madrona berries, small bright red fruits that grow wild on the West Coast. You probably won't find them at your local supermarket, but they're one of the most overlooked natural tools for keeping muscles strong and inflammation under control. These berries are packed with vitamin C. In fact, they contain nearly twice as much as oranges. Just 100 grams of arbutus berries can deliver over 250 milligrams of vitamin C. That's nearly 3 times the recommended daily amount for adults over 50. And why does that matter? Because vitamin C doesn't just boost your immune system. It's essential for muscle repair and the production of collagen, the tissue that keeps your joints and muscles working together smoothly. But what makes arbutus berries especially valuable for seniors is their effect on inflammation. As we get older, low-grade chronic inflammation becomes more common even if you don't feel it directly. This kind of inflammation doesn't scream at you, but it quietly damages your muscles, reduces flexibility, and increases fatigue. It's one of the biggest reasons why some people feel weaker, even when they haven't changed their routine. Arbutus berries are rich in flavonoids and tannins, plant compounds that calm this inflammation and improve circulation, which, as we've seen, is key to delivering oxygen and nutrients to muscle tissue. A study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults with higher dietary flavonoid intake maintained greater muscle mass and functional strength compared to those with lower intake. I remember one story that really stuck with me. A retired teacher named Joan, who had always loved hiking, told me she had to give it up after developing stiffness and soreness in her hips. She started foraging arbutus berries near her home in Oregon and began eating them regularly, sometimes fresh, sometimes as a fruit spread on whole grain toast with a touch of lemon and honey. Over time, she didn't just feel better, she was back on the trail. If you're lucky enough to live where arbutus trees grow, These berries are a gift. You can eat them fresh, make a simple jam, or stir them into Greek yogurt with a pinch of ground ginger. That combination doesn't just taste good, it fights inflammation from multiple angles. Ginger adds another layer of anti-inflammatory support, while the yogurt provides protein to aid muscle recovery. Even if you can't find arbutus berries locally, this story reminds us of something important. Some of the most powerful tools for healing and strength don't come in flashy packages or prescription labels. They grow quietly, close to nature, and their power lies in their simplicity. So, if you ever come across arbutus berries or any wild fruit with a story, don't pass them by. Nature often hides its best medicine in plain sight. Now, let's talk about a fruit you probably already know, but may not fully appreciate: prunes. Yes, the same prunes often linked with digestion, but these small wrinkled fruits offer so much more, especially for older adults working to protect muscle and bone strength. One of the biggest benefits of prunes is their high potassium content. Just 100 grams, about a small handful, contains over 700 milligrams of potassium, even more than a banana. Why does that matter? Because potassium plays a key role in helping your muscles contract properly and avoid cramping. When your potassium levels are low, you might feel those sudden, painful muscle spasms in your legs or calves, especially at night. It's your body's way of saying, "I need support." But prunes don't stop there. They're also rich in phenolic compounds, which are natural antioxidants found in plants. These compounds work to fight inflammation, especially the kind that builds up over time and contributes to muscle loss, joint pain, and fatigue. Chronic inflammation is like rust inside the body. It slowly eats away at strength, flexibility, and function. The antioxidants in prunes act like a gentle polish, helping protect and restore what's being worn down. And here's something often overlooked: vitamin K. Prunes provide a meaningful dose of this nutrient, which is essential for bone health. Strong bones are just as important as strong muscles, especially when it comes to balance and fall prevention. A 2020 study in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that older women who consumed prunes regularly had better bone density and reduced markers of bone breakdown compared to those who didn't. So, how do you work prunes into your daily life without getting bored? Fortunately, they're versatile. You can eat them as is for a naturally sweet snack, chop them into oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or toss them into a salad. Their soft texture makes them easy to chew, and their natural sugars can satisfy dessert cravings without the blood sugar spike. If you want to take it a step further, try this. Soak 3 to 4 prunes in water overnight, and in the morning, drink the soaking liquid along with the fruit. Not only is it gentle on digestion, but it may actually improve nutrient absorption. One of my patients, Carol, age 68, began doing this every morning. She told me after just a couple of weeks, she noticed fewer leg cramps and felt steadier walking down the front steps, something that used to make her nervous. What makes prunes so powerful is how simple and accessible they are. No prep work, no fancy ingredients, they don't spoil easily, and you don't need to cook them. And yet over time they support your muscles, bones, and energy in ways you'll truly feel. Sometimes strength doesn't come from lifting heavy weights. It comes from lifting the right foods onto your plate day after day, bite after bite. So now you've met 4 natural, powerful allies in the fight against age-related muscle loss: red grapes, padron peppers, arbutus berries, and prunes. The question is, how do you actually put them to work in your daily life without it feeling like a chore? The truth is, you don't need a complete diet overhaul. You don't need to count every calorie or memorize complicated rules. What you need is a simple, realistic plan that fits your routine and supports your body where it needs it most. Here's how many of my patients begin. Start your morning with 3 to 4 soaked prunes. Let them sit in water overnight, and when you wake up, drink the liquid and eat the fruit. It's gentle on digestion and gives your muscles a boost of potassium, antioxidants, and bone-supporting vitamin K before the day even begins. Later in the morning or with lunch, add a generous cup of red grapes. Keep them in the fridge, wash a batch ahead of time, and snack on them just like you would with crackers or cookies. They satisfy your sweet tooth while supporting circulation and feeding your mitochondria, those tiny energy centers in your muscle cells. In the afternoon or with dinner, saute a few padron peppers and a bit of olive oil. Add a pinch of turmeric while they're cooking. It only takes a few minutes and pairs well with almost any protein chicken, fish, beans, or tofu. This not only helps your body build collagen, but also reduces inflammation gently and naturally. And once or twice a week, if you can get your hands on our Butis berries, either fresh or in a homemade spread, include them with breakfast or an afternoon snack. Mix them into yogurt, spread them on whole grain toast, or pair them with a handful of walnuts for a balanced mini meal that supports both muscles and joints. Don't worry if you can't find our Butis berries right away. The other three, grapes, prunes, and peppers, are available in most grocery stores, and they alone can make a real impact. Remember, consistency is what matters most. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something helpful every single day. One fruit here, one veggie there. Over time, these choices build momentum, and you start noticing little things. Your legs feel steadier. Your back isn't as stiff. You move through your day with a bit more confidence. And here's the best part. It's not just your muscles that benefit. These foods support heart health, brain clarity, digestive balance, and energy levels. They don't just help you stay strong, they help you feel alive again. So, start small. Pick one food from today's list and work it into your routine this week. Then, once it becomes a habit, add another. Your body doesn't need perfect. It just needs care and consistency. If you've made it to this point in the video, I want to say something very simple but very important. Thank you. Thank you for caring enough about your health to watch all the way through. That tells me something about you. You haven't given up. You still believe in your body, and so do I. Muscle loss doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks in slowly over months and years. But the good news is, rebuilding strength doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming. It starts with what's already around you. Real food, simple habits, and a mindset that says, I'm not done yet. Maybe you're not lifting heavy boxes anymore. Maybe long walks feel shorter than they used to. That's okay. You're still here, still moving, still choosing to do something positive for your body, and that matters more than you think. Whether it's a handful of grapes, a few sautéed peppers, or 3 soaked prunes with your breakfast, you're telling your body, I want to feel strong again. And day by day, your body will start to answer back with steadier steps, better energy, fewer aches, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're still in control. No one wants to feel like they're fading, and you don't have to. You are not powerless. You are not too old, and you are certainly not alone. There are simple natural choices, like the ones we've talked about today, that can help you stay active, independent, and more you. Not just for the next few months, but for the years ahead. So, if this video spoke to you, even just a little, I hope you'll take a moment to like it, share it with someone you care about, and leave a comment below to let me know what changes you're planning to make. I truly love hearing from you. And if you're new here, I'd be honored to have you subscribe and join this growing community of older adults who are taking their health back one smart step at a time. I'm Dr. James Porter. And until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and take good care of